Eddbud members assemble. Hey cats, it's Ed Midsole Bud here. We've reached that milestone of 25,000 subscribers, which means it's time to unleash the beast. My members tier setup is ready to go. More on that though in just a sec. I've also got an update for you on the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite at 100 kilometers. Thanks for tuning in, cats. Always appreciate it. Do hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications so you don't miss out on any new videos. Also, if you're really enjoying the content, give us a thumbs up like. It really does help out in terms of the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget to share this video with your running chums. Merci beaucoup. Some of the more observant of you will have noticed there's a new button that's been added to the YouTube channel. You can now join and become a member of the channel, and there's 3 different tiers. This membership scheme will really help grow the channel and drive it forward in the new year. There are 3 tiers of extra perks that you'll receive, starting with the Outsole Observers. So here you'll get priority replies to comments. You know, I try to get to all the comments, but it's becoming harder and harder the more subscribers we get. That lower tier will give you priority comment replies. There'll be some specific channel emojis and badges. These will grow as time goes on. Badges will show how long you've been a member of the channel, and with this tier you also get some specific member shoutouts in the videos and the live streams. Midsole Mashers. That's our second tier. That'll feature all the previous perks that you'll get as an Outsole observer, but you'll also get behind the scenes photos and updates and some special members only live streams and additional videos. Plus some members polls that are really important and will help me shape the content that will feature on the channel over the course of the next few months. Lastly, for the mega fans, there is the upper Connoisseurs. This will grant you direct messaging through to Eddbud himself. And also you'll receive some personalised video content as well, direct from me. That might be some shoe views, maybe some gear advice, or some running insight. That's one for the true shoe enthusiasts. Regular viewers will still get the awesome content that you've been accustomed to over the last couple of years, but this gives a number of supporters the opportunity to help the channel grow and move forward, really, just driving things along. I think it also gives people a new way to interact with the superb community that we've got here. Loads of runners all over the world, and if I don't say so myself, one of the warmest and most supportive bunch of people that I've ever had the pleasure to talk to. So do hit that join button and check out the various different tiers that are on offer with our membership scheme. They're all billed monthly, so if you decide that you want to end it at some point, you can do that. Whether you're an Outsole, Midsole or upper tier member, I look forward to having you on board for some exciting adventures. Back to the shoes. So I didn't realise how many miles I had into these. About 60 miles now, 100 kilometres. Kind of crept up on me. A bit like a panther. Or a puma, perhaps. I'm reliably informed that the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite will restock very soon, over in Europe at least. I think there's been a few pairs knocking around here in the UK. Not many though, they seem to disappear very quickly. Bit of a midpoint review here on this pacey Puma. Upper-wise, I'm definitely opting for a thinner sock with the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite. I did go for a 10.5 in these UK, which is an 11.5 US, and I'm finding that it's like a race fit, which I think for most people really means it's about as snug as you want to go. Not uncomfortably snug, but just about right. The lockdown of the shoe has remained consistent over the miles so far. No flexing of that plasticky upper material. Sadly, that also means the irritating tongue slip that I've experienced across the miles so far is still there. Even after 6 miles today, doing some interval sessions, yeah, it still happened. It was quite pronounced as well today. The tongue had sort of disappeared down inside this part of the shoe. I could probably find some way of sorting it out, maybe a piece of elastic or something, but it's not a very elegant way of getting around this problem. It was 4 by 1 mile repeats today, with 400 meter recoveries in between. No rubbing, chafing anywhere on the upper. Certainly is one of the most comfortable I've tried out in recent times, and I think that separates this shoe really from the Puma Deviate Nitro. I mean, that's only marginally cheaper as well, but I know which one I'd rather have. I never ever comment on the reflective bits of running shoes. I'm not sure why. To some people they're really important, but this is one shoe that certainly stands out. The whole of the eyelet section is just really reflective. The eyelets and the tongue glow like some sort of alien at a 90s rave. I really like the semi-transparent upper. If you wear quite a bright sock, it just penetrates through. I think if you like the Liberate Nitro upper, then you'll be right at home in this one. Midsole now. This Nitro Elite P-Bax material here is quite different to what you get in the Puma Deviate Nitro. More compressive and forgiving, I feel, than that shoe. And also more forgiving than Light Strike Pro as well that we find in the Takumi Sen 8. Though I do believe that Adidas shoe is possibly one of the closest that we have to the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite. I find the Puma shoe far more rigid though with that carbon plate than those rods that you get in the Takumi Sen 8. They're a bit like a used McDonald's paper straw. I think both of those shoes are pretty much equal in weight, but it certainly feels like there's a little bit more midsole here than in the Takumi Sen 8. At my half marathon paces today, the shoe felt really smooth, sprightly, but not perhaps as assistive as something like the Next Percent or the Alpha Fly. Those feel like they're doing quite a bit for you, whereas this one you've got to put the energy and effort in. Some of you may prefer that type of shoe though. It feels like you're in control of this one a little bit more, whereas when you put the Alpha Fly or the Next Percent on, they're kind of driving you. A bit like if you take a very excitable dog for a walk. Are you walking it or is the dog walking you? It's a very different, less aggressive plate here in the Puma shoe. Certainly not a similar experience in the Metaspeed Sky. That feels quite aggressive to me. Or anything like the rocker experience you get from the Endorphin line from Saucony. I think again here the comparisons ring true with the Takumi Sen 8, and price-wise it's very close, isn't it? They're almost exactly the same. If you can actually find a pair of these. There's been no major changes in the foam over the 60 miles or 100 kilometers thus far. Very little damage or creasing whatsoever to that midsole. In fact, I'm finding it quite resilient. Whereas you get something like Zoom X, which seems to tear quite easily, certainly less brittle feeling than the Next Percent midsole. But I really do feel that there's a bit of a difference between the Vaporfly 4% Zoom X, the Next Percent and the Alpha Fly, or even the Invincible Run. That stuff's just completely different. So they're definitely tinkering with Zoom X. Not all Zoom X is made the same apparently. I think no worries here for me at the half marathon or full marathon distance in the Deviate Nitro Elite. Definitely more of a distance shoe for me, this one. Perhaps more in the mould of the Fuel Cell RC Elite 2. I think it will grant its advantages to the runner later in one of those longer distance races. Outsole wise, you know, Puma are the bad boys. They're the dons. They're the real masters right now of outsole rubber. The real deal here, even with the meager servant scraping of Puma Grip. Is this Puma Grip LT? I don't know. Somebody mentioned that, but it just looks like it's slightly less rubber than you get on the Deviate Nitro. Grippy even on the hard, uncompromising, icy surfaces today. It performs well on foot strike, but also on toe off as well. Sometimes you don't get that in shoes. They feel good if you're kind of hitting it on the midfoot, but when you try to actually toe off, they slip and slide. You feel a little bit uneasy. Certainly feels assured as you toe off, and that's what you want with a higher speed shoe. Zilch wear on the outsole thus far. That's certainly quite impressive considering I've used it on some gravelly paths recently. Absolutely no wear whatsoever. So as such, I think this one's going to hold up pretty well against some of the other super shoes. Even that exposed midsole foam shows absolutely no abrasion whatsoever. Though do take note, I'm quite a lighter fellow with a frame like a bean stick. So do take that into account. I think I'm still going to recommend this one to people who are after a carbon plate shoe that's perhaps a little less present, a little less aggressive perhaps. Lots of squash but still with a lower weight. Perhaps those lighter built runners will want to seek this one out and test it. Perhaps if you want a race shoe that's less present on foot and a little less controlling than some of the other kings out there. More on the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite soon. I'll take it up to 100 and see where we're at. Do you own a pair of these? Have you been lucky enough to get your mitts on one? How do you feel they stack up against the other contenders? Let us runners know down in the comments. That's all for me for today, guys. No musical interlude. I don't want the video to be too long. I'll be back with some very soon, though. If you do want to help the channel out, do hit that join button and check out some of the members' perks that we've now got on offer. As usual, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and also click the bell below for notifications when we roll out those new videos for you. And it helps the channel out a massive amount if you give this video a thumbs up like, but also share it with your running buddies. My name's Eddbud, and I'll be seeing you